Alright, this is Expedition to Castle Ravenloft in the 13th Age, session number 1. Session 0 was a little bit of discussion about the rules and starting our intro adventure that'll roll into the Ravenloft game. Tonight we have a new player. We have John, and John is going to tell us just a little bit about his character, who is a human sorcerer. John, what's your sorcerer's name?
His name is Kenthis. He is going to be focusing mostly on lightning type powers. His whole backstory is he got struck by lightning on top of a ley line, and that's what gave him his abilities. And I'm just going to run with that.
Alright, so that struck by lightning and being linked to the ley line, that's kind of going to be your one unique thing, the
Yep.
tie to the ley lines.
Right.
Awesome. Alright, and I know that you're going to be working on your backgrounds a little bit, but can you tell me just in general what your backgrounds are?
He has, well, I have Arcane Guide that came with my Arcane Heritage, so that just gives me a little bit of knowledge in magic type stuff. Then I have Survivalist. He's sort of like a nomadic kind of guy, walking the ley lines for most of his life. And Woodcraft, not as in like forest craft, but literally crafting with wood. Because
Carving and...
yeah, making bows, carving, that sort of thing.
Alright. Excellent. So, you watched the last session, or most of it.
Yes.
But I'm going to just summarize real quick. The Dragon Empire is a very, very large place. And in it, in the southern reach, just beneath the Midland Sea, there's a place that's known as the Wild Wood. And the current High Druid has made that her home. And since she's moved in there and started working on and started managing what she does as the Druid, all these rituals have strengthened nature and made it so that the area is generally hostile to civilization. The larger towns have pretty much been shut down and overgrown, and only the smaller settlements where people live more or less in harmony with nature have managed to hang on. And you guys represent a group of adventurers that have been hired by the Dragon Emperor's administration to kind of patrol the forest and keep a census of the places that are still there, the places that have been shut down, and offer any assistance that you can to the people who still live there, just to kind of maintain a presence and some sort of claim on the area as part of the Dragon Emperor's empire. So you heard rumors of a town called Aniel, where the entire population seems to have very recently disappeared. And you went in there to investigate, and the place did look empty, and you climbed up. They kind of live in like a Ewok village sort of situation here. You climbed up, and you went up to a second level of the town where there was kind of what you might imagine an elf mansion to look like. And in there, you discovered... Well, actually, I believe it was Heinrich. What was the last thing that you saw before we ended our session?
I saw a giant spider. After hearing multiple chittering noises, I finally saw, I guess, the source of said noises and informed my group, my traveling companions, of what I saw. We hastily closed the window shut of this mansion that we were in, and I believe that's where we left off.
That's right. And the way I framed it when I scheduled tonight's game is that you closed the window, but did anyone close the front door? So you guys are in an abandoned elf mansion. It's kind of dim in here. If I recall correctly, you were kind of up in the attic space, the second floor of the mansion.
Yeah, we were up. There was like a assistance room that we were in.
Right. I think it was kind of split between storage space and a cramped assistant's bedroom/study area.
Yeah.
So the question is now, what do you do?
All right. So I'm not sure if anybody else saw that spider, but it just seemed to disappear, and that doesn't seem normal to me. I don't know if there's some sort of anomalies around here that made everybody disappear, or if there's something special about that spider, but it doesn't seem right to me. I don't know if we're going in the right direction, looking in these houses or not. But maybe we can look at that grave, or look at the pig.
I think
Try to find the pig.
I had an idea last session of maybe examining the body in the grave to see if it had died of natural causes, since this disappearance seemed to be pretty sudden, or at least from the reports that we had got. And with this spider and whatever else may be going on, maybe doing so cautiously with weapons drawn.
Although first, do we want to let Kenthis look around, because he is a sorcerer himself? Maybe he can see if there's anything useful in this house.
That is a good question. Is Kenthis with us?
I was there the whole time, man.
Oh, okay.
You were just quiet.
I was quiet. I guess can I use my arcane guide background to... Actually, before I think about the house, you've told us about the spider, right, Bryant? Sorry, is that your name?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it was me or if it was Heinrich that saw it, but
I think you corrected me in the event to say that Heinrich saw it. So I think Pierce would be the one that would have the description if there is one.
Okay, so have you informed us of the spiders?
Yeah, I had informed the group about the chittering that I had been hearing, and they didn't believe me. They just thought I was crazy. And then I saw the spider, and I don't know if they believed me, but I told them about it.
All right. Well, could I use my arcane guide background to maybe think about the anomaly that Bryant mentioned a second ago? You know, if I know anything about any sort of magical aura, presence, whatever.
All right. So, okay, yeah, you could do something like that. So when you roll your background, it's going to be your background bonus plus your, let's call this a wisdom modifier,
Okay.
and your level.
All right. So that'll be plus 7. That is a 22.
22?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, 22 is going to be plenty good enough for you. So you're taking a look around, and you're looking to see what it is that you can see, and just on the off chance you happen to catch this ghostly silhouette of spiders moving around what seems to be the outside of the mansion. And it just happens for a moment, as if you caught a glimpse of some hidden world that you haven't previously perceived before.
So they're not just invisible; they are literally not there.
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell everyone about that.
And you thought I was crazy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, guys, there's like spirit spiders everywhere. I don't know.
that's generally not good.
Yeah. Spiders and snakes.
All right. So, taking as a general consensus that these things exist, you've got the 2 floors. On the bottom floor, you found a study with, I believe, was a locked armoire, and magical papers and books all over the place, and some basic living quarters. You know, the nice big mage's bedroom, perhaps, and a kitchen with a stock larder and things like that. So you still have other areas of the house that you could go through if you wanted to. And of course, you go straight down to the other side of the house and out the front door if you wanted to go out and investigate other things.
If you guys are okay with taking guard. Should I go through the armor desks, maybe?
Yeah, I'm cautious about those spiders, so I'm gonna go back to my bodyguard roots and kind of stake myself at the front door, making sure I close it first. If it wasn't closed, close it and kind of get myself ready and make sure that everybody's within earshot, so that if anything busts through that door, I'll be able to warn them.
Oh,
Even or odd, Bryant?
Odd.
All right, your choice. Was the door open or closed?
Open.
All right. When you get down to where the door was, well, door still is. Don't panic. But there is a large spider web with thick, heavy ropes like the width of your finger, forming this web right over the door.
Not, I'll yell up. I don't know who's with me or not, but I'll let everybody else know that that there's a big spider web blocking our way. So either those spiders don't want us to get out, or something along those lines. And does anybody have any fire to burn this thing away?
I could use a spell to do that, but I feel like we can maybe find a less expensive way to get rid of the web. Hopefully. So I only have 3 casts.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Oh.
Well, it depends on what spells that you've chosen to memorize for today. If you look at your spell descriptions, you'll notice that some are once per day, others are once per battle, and others are at will. There is a check involved. Oh, no, I'm thinking Dungeon World, which I've been reading recently. So if you have something that's at will or once per battle, you could probably use that, and you would still have castings for it later on.
Okay.
Although it occurs to me that maybe setting the thing that's blocking our only way out on fire may not be a good idea.
And potentially the whole building trapping us inside a burning pyre.
So I'll actually copy down my spells right now. You guys can continue, but I did not memorize, so I'll do that.
I'm going to get my greatsword out, just on the off chance that something is about to go bad.
All right. So you guys are both on your guard here while our sorcerer gets his spells all together. We haven't heard from our bard yet, which seems unusual, being that bards are traditionally all mouth. Jesse, you got any idea what you're doing over there?
I'm assessing the situation, and investigating the armor and the arcane stuff sounds most interesting to me at this time. I could cast my cantrip Spark to light the webs, but that, again, seems like a bad idea. I think investigating the interior is what I want to do.
All right. So you want to start to study then, because that's where most of the magical materials would be?
Sure. I want to use my aspiring hedge wizard background to look around for anything interesting.
Ooh, well, you don't need to roll background to find that out. Pretty much everything here is above your pay grade, so to speak. This guy was definitely a top flight wizard. In fact, his name, as you discover from some correspondence, is, geez, I had it here, Revan. And apparently he had recently retired here and brought his apprentice with him. He's continuing his magical studies, but he's no longer serving in the Elf Queen's court. And pretty much was going to spend the rest of his days here just doing research. And he's got correspondence to people that he knows in the Elf Queen's court and to former adventurers that he used to go around with. But he also has several books on Drow history. In the 13th Age, the Elf Queen is queen to all 3 major races of elves. That includes the Drow, or Drow, the High Elves, and the Wood Elves. And he appears to have been researching Drow artifacts, but beyond that, his notes start to slew into code, a personal one presumes, and it gets kind of hard to follow.
And you mentioned that the armoire is locked?
Yes, the armoire is locked.
I want to unlock that.
All right.
And I'll use my knock cantrip to do that.
And if that doesn't work, I'm sure my Warhammer could get through.
Or let's try to be civilized about this one, and then you can smash it.
All right. So, remind me how knock works in the 13th Age.
Okay, I have to make a intelligence check using an appropriate magical background versus the DC of the environment, in this case the lock. It's basically I get a chance to open locks using magic rather than picks.
All right. Well, that sounds fair. Give it a roll. This would definitely be, I would think, intelligence,
All right.
because you're using your mind to unlock it rather than your dexterity.
Yeah, that's the description of the spell. So yeah.
Oh, it tells you which modifier?
Yeah, and with just intelligence modifier, it's a 19. If I can use my appropriate arcane background, an aspiring hedge wizard, that would go up to a 23.
Well, I would think, especially as a head wizard, you'd have to steal a few chickens here and there to get by, so you're probably familiar with picking locks using magic. I give it to you. All right, so the lock clicks, and the door moves ever so slightly, being that the lock's tension was holding it shut.
I will use the tip of my sword to gently open the door the rest of the way.
All right. Inside of here, you see various magic paraphernalia. This was his ingredients cabinet, so to speak. So you'll find stuff here that wouldn't have been common. You know, it's not necessarily terribly expensive. You just can't get it around here type stuff. But also you see a large carved wooden box that has a scene of a battle between elves carved on it.
Okay, I'll inform, at the very least, I'll inform the sorcerer what I found. But I don't know what it is, so I could use some help with that.
Okay. I will look over.
I am something of a minor historian. I may know something about this this elven war.
Yeah, that sounds more relevant.
In fact, one of my backgrounds is historian.
All right.
All right. So why don't you make a roll, and we'll see what you know.
All right. Which attribute should I use for that?
I would say intelligence, because this would probably be rote memorization.
Okay. So it's intelligence modifier plus level plus however many points I have into a historian on my background.
That's
Is that
correct.
Okay. Got a 17.
All right. Well, there's not too many places where the elves have fought against each other on a large scale that might be suggested by the carving here. And certainly, whenever it does happen, the Drow are on one end and all the other elves are on the other. So this is probably related to one of those battles, and that would be all that you're getting out of this one. Maybe if you spent some time with the books that Revan was researching through, but we're talking a serious amount of time. I mean, obviously, he was researching something, and it wasn't very quick for him.
and we stuff a few of the books in our bags.
Absolutely. These books are going to be worth a fair bit of coin if you get back to civilization. I mean, these are serious magical tomes. This is treasure. These are tomes of history that would be of use to any library that cares to buy them off of you.
Well, are we really okay with looting? What's our stance on that at this point?
The church is okay with it.
Okay.
They're
Does
tithing.
anybody?
They're tithing to the Temple of the Blazing Sun.
I will grab a couple then.
All right.
I'll put that on my sheet.
Absolutely, and we'll worry about how much they're worth later on.
Okay.
But that leaves you with the box.
It's made out of wood, you said?
It is made out of wood, and given your background, I think it's fair to say that you can comment on its quality without having to roll any checks.
All right.
And
Looks
it
good
does
to me.
seem to be quite intricately carved. It would have been a masterwork for someone to do this. And it appears to be done in an elven style, so this is not something that would have been done from any of the human masters that you might have been more familiar with.
Is it locked?
There is no lock on the box.
Does everyone maybe want to stand back a little and I'll open it?
Have at it.
All right. I open it.
Okay. Having stood back,
Oh boy.
do you want to move a little bit away from the papers?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, away from the papers?
Flammable things?
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
All right. So you take a few steps, maybe you go out in the hallway
Yeah.
where there's nothing to burn but maybe a lamp or two will catch up. And you go to open the box and it won't lift.
Can I use Arcane Guide on that? Just to see if I know anything about it?
Well, it does seem to be magically sealed.
Okay. Well, I got nothing. I mean, who had the knock spell? Or does that only work on physical locks?
That's a good question. I think that was Jesse that had the knock spell.
Yeah. I can give it a whirl. I mean, what's the worst what could possibly go wrong? Sure.
Absolutely nothing.
All right. This is going to be a little bit difficult, more difficult, but I think that you've got the modifiers to handle it. So, make your check.
Well, here goes nothing. Yeah. 24. Oh. That's probably not enough, but 24.
You missed it by 1.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But
Something
I'm going
hard
to
at
say,
this level is 25.
I'm going to say that you guys were putting your head together on this one and give you the +1 for his assistance.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, as you're casting the spell here, you feel this tension dissipate from around the box.
Well, who wants to be the poor soul that opens it then?
We already had a volunteer.
Okay, I'll do it again. I will open the
All
box.
right. You open the box?
Yep. Well, Jesse, you want to step back? Just in case.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now I'll open the box.
All right. There was more than one spell cast on the box?
Right.
All right. Let's see here. All right. So when you open the box, it's like this. You catch a glimpse of a large opal. It's a gem cut opal that it looks pretty big. really big. But then, from the center of the box, where the opal is on display, you see this bright flame that rushes out towards your face, and it fills the hallway briefly, encompassing your head and pretty much anybody else's head that's within 5 feet behind you, which I believe is no one. And it deals, sadly, I rolled a full 12 points of damage.
Okay. So there's no, like, dodge or...
No, I rolled an attack, and the attack was, had a natural 18 on that, and it had a plus 10 modifier,
So that's
and I'm willing
definitely
to, yeah, I was willing to bet that that was going to be a hit.
Alright, so 12 damage.
Yep.
Okay.
But once your hair crisps off, and you run to put your face off, to find a bucket of water for your face, as horrible crack, burned, crispy, burning hair. Ugh. Not a pretty picture at the moment.
I'm actually mostly bald, but...
Oh, well, now you're entirely bald.
Around the ears.
So, now you have this box with the opal in it.
Okay. Was I standing near the web when I opened the box, or no?
The study was near the front door, I will say, so I will say yes.
Okay.
And the web catches fire. But the web burns very, very slowly, and it's with a low blue flame that just kind of gutters and goes out, but it's definitely deteriorated. It's it hasn't burned away entirely, but it looks weaker and pocked in places, and it's probably going to be much easier to break out now.
Okay. I'll, after cooling my face off, I'll display the opal for everyone to see.
It was worth it.
You said it was blue?
No, I believe it's a black opal.
Okay.
Let me just, I did just read it. Lazy DM here. So yes, this is a beautiful dark opal. It's worth several thousand gold pieces, absolutely, just for its size and its cut. It's a beautiful piece, and it is dark, as you would expect it as an artifact of the Drow.
Oh, do we... Okay. So we know it's a Drow artifact.
So I have a question for either Kenthis or Vasile. Since it was in his ingredients closet, basically, do either of y'all know if this is important, like alchemical reagent or magical reagent used in some sort of spell? Or, I mean, I'm just kind of spitballing here since all of these people in this town just suddenly disappeared. Maybe it's a trigger or ingredient for a spell.
So the other background, the relevant background was it's Hedge Wizard versus Arcane Guide. Which would you say is more relevant? Or was it something else?
Well, do you guys want to make a case as to which one's more relevant, or do you really
Could we
want
actually
me
assist each other? Is there an
absolutely.
assist? Oh, okay. You want to do like an
Like
assist?
you guys are having like an academic debate back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what this is.
So,
I can take a roll if you want me to.
okay. What's the attribute that's going to govern this?
Well, you've got two routes here, and it flavors what how the response goes. You can go the intelligence route. Have I read about this? What are the uses of gems? Or you can go the intuitive route. Just try and puzzle it out. What is the key thing that I need to latch on here to understand this? Do I have a sudden insight?
My intelligence bonus plus my level would be 5. My wisdom is also +5. +2 from the background, so if yours is
Well,
higher, then you roll.
Remember, you're level 4.
Right.
Okay. Well, because you said your intelligence plus your level would be 5, so I assume that means you have a +1 intelligence modifier.
Yeah.
Okay.
My intelligence is slightly better than that. My wisdom, not so much.
All right.
Alright,
So we're gonna
I'll
go
let you take it.
So we're gonna go the intelligence route. What do you already know that might fit this? And make your roll.
All right.
And I know, like, I'm chanting behind him to assist or something. You know.
Well, since I rolled a natural 2, I'm going to presume I know nothing about this, other than it's pretty and looks dangerous to me.
All right. Then did we want to have Kenthis take a check on his own and see if we can get it back up here?
Oh, please do.
Alright, so I'll go wisdom, because I guess it's the same either way. Natural 4, so that will be plus 11.
Both of you reminded me of heretics right now. Oh, heretic got me angry.
All right, so both of our magical people have drawn a complete blank. The bard screws up his head, trying to think, no, not that story. No, haven't heard anything like that. It's made of minerals? And then our sorcerer goes, tink, tink, tink. Yep. Definitely mineral. Not animal, not vegetable. So,
If it was in a box with 2 protection spells on it, it's got to be important. That's all I know.
So I say we stuff it in our pockets, would be the next. Does anyone want to carry it?
I'll hang on to it so you heretics don't use it for foul magics.
Sounds fair.
Yeah,
sounds good.
I don't want the sorcerer potentially summoning some
Right?
Drow beast.
Yeah, I'm happy not to touch that. So
Right, Ember? These guys.
crazy magic types.
all right, so you hand it off to the cleric, who stows it in his gear for the time being.
Is he keeping it in the box or just the gem?
Good question.
Well, I do like that box as a really bad historian, so...
I will hand you the box. It's all yours.
All right. So, you've retrieved this magical artifact from its secure location, and the door is still blocked by a web, albeit not as strong as it was. What else do you want to do? Is there anything else that you want to check out while you're here?
Well, again, my bodyguard instincts kick in, and maybe we want to find a second exit out of here.
Okay.
Being trapped is not a good thing. It's kind of freaking me out.
So the entrance we came in on, is that I mean, I know we're kind of raised up, but that's for lack of a better term, the ground floor for this, and the only stairway we saw was going up, is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
You come in from the ground through the main entrance, and there was a long hall, and on either side of the hall there were these doorways leading to the different living quarters. And at the end of the hall was the staircase that kind of curved with the wall to take you up to the next level.
And we've already been up to the next level. That's where we saw like the apprentice's shack, I guess.
That's correct.
Okay.
Now there are plenty of windows, and off of the, I'll say the kitchen area. No, rather off the bedroom area, there is a little bit of a stoop that you could walk out onto that would look down on the common area that's underneath it, the elevated platform that would be like a common area for the village.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I think that if we want to leave this mansion, we're going to have to fight our way out of this mansion.
Well, maybe the spiders will stay in their world. Maybe they're friendly.
I've already seen him once, man. They've been
Does
stalking,
anyone?
and they've been stalking us. Presumably, if the same chittering noise that I heard earlier, they've been
Right.
stalking us through the village.
Whoa. Does anyone have like a good knife to cut through the web?
The
I've
cleric's
got,
got a bloody great sword.
I have a great sword and a few daggers.
Okay. I have a wood carving knife that is technically magical, but I don't think that's what we're looking for. So maybe you should.
And I do
Wooden
have
knives
a
are
short
wicked
sword.
sharp. They have to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's maybe where the magical enhancement comes in.
Right.
And I do have a short sword to help hack at this stuff, so.
You guys want to tag team it? Just all three of us just lay into that web.
Um, Stephen, you were telling us that there was that overlooking the the village and everything. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Does it open out? Like, is it an open air? Like, kind of
Yeah.
like a deck almost?
It's kind of like a small deck. I mean, you
Okay.
think about those. You think about some of those spy movies where they're in the hotel in Eastern Europe and they have just enough space to walk out there and have a smoke. Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
About how far, just I guess using common sense from what we've seen of the village, about how far up are from the next platform area?
You walked upstairs to get to the entrance here, so I'm going to say 20 or 30 feet.
Okay. I say screw the web at this point. I've got some rope. We can shimmy down it. If we fall, it's only 20 or 30 feet. It's not that bad.
All right.
And, I mean, we can have somebody like either me or Ember at the base of the rope at the bottom, guarding everybody as they climb down while one person keeps watch at the top. And,
Yeah,
yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I can go down first. It'll probably test the strength of the rope. I weigh about 300 pounds, so fighter in full armor. See if
Well,
that.
I brought quote unquote good rope with me, not the cheap stuff.
That was the salesperson told you.
Well, yeah, he said I could have
Actually,
elven rope, good rope, or cheap
yeah.
rope. So
Is there any rope in here like that we would have seen? You know, elven rope.
Well, you find odds and ends of different things for just general maintenance, but you don't find anything that would be like an adventurer's rope. There's certainly nothing
Okay.
long enough to lower yourself down.
well,
It's not like he keeps a fire ladder or something and he rolls out of a window when he needs to get out of here in a hurry. He's a mage. He would just put it out with his mind.
I truly do have rope on my character sheet, so we can totally do this.
Okay.
All right,
Awesome. Rope it is.
tie it off to something strong, and I'll head down first.
On this balcony, small area, is there anything that we can notice, I guess, to tie this rope off onto?
Well, the balcony itself is carved,
Mhm.
and it's one of those decorative things that you noticed from the level below, from the common area, that made you think that maybe this was the home of someone important and
Okay.
therefore worth checking out. Just because it's carved and has some delicate features doesn't mean that it isn't very strong. We're talking about high quality elven craftsmanship.
Right.
They're not sacrificing any of the strength of the materials to do what they do in this particular case. So you can easily fasten the rope and then toss it over. It lands down, I assume, with a little bit to spare. And we're going to throw Ember over the edge first.
Yep.
All right, Ember.
Godspeed.
Going down is generally not the problem. All you have to do is slow yourself enough not to get hurt.
Okay.
I don't think that we need a skill check for that, guys. Probably not. So, Ember down the rope. You gonna do anything down there before the next person shows up?
I'm going to just kind of take a look around and see if I see anything particularly spidery, and listen for any of the scratching or chittering or anything like that. And
All right. For that, I do want to check.
Okay. 12.
Nope, all clear.
All clear. Come on down, guys.
Who goes next?
The GM in me doesn't believe you.
Do I have
I guess-
another volunteer?
I'll go next. Sure.
All right. So, Vasile?
Yes.
Was that how it's pronounced?
Yes.
Okay. Vasile is next. And once again, gliding down the rope with no problem and maybe a little bit of flair.
No. My dexterity 18 is offset by my strength of 8, so I'm very carefully slide down the rope.
No swashing of buckles then. Gotcha. All right. So, Vasile makes it down and joins the watch at the bottom of the rope. Who goes next?
Have at it, Kenthis.
Actually, if it's okay with you, I would like to let you go down first, and while everyone is going down this rope, I'm going to go see if I can get just a little clipping of that spider web. Just going to try.
You want me to go with you while you get the clipping just in case?
If you want, yeah, let's do that.
Hey guys, 1 minute.
Oh, for crying
Okay.
out loud.
It's like trying to get
So-
a kid out of a candy store.
You had to go to the bathroom. Do so before we adventure. Jeez.
And I'll use my wood carving knife,
Oh,
which
I
is...
turned to Kenthis and said, "We gotta make this quick, dude."
Alright. I run to the web.
So, everybody say hello to my wife as she walks in behind me.
Hello.
She's coming in and do a little photo work while we play. All right, so the Kenthis and Heinrich go back down to check out the web that's covering the front of the door, while Ember and Vasile wait outside on the platform below, near the rope, kind of guarding the exit. But as our two adventurers on the interior reach the web, I'm going to ask you all to roll for initiative.
Oh boy.
Knew this was gonna happen.
Alright,
So we
guys.
get for splitting the party, our pride.
Ember, what's your initiative?
24.
Okay. Vasile,
18.
all right. And then in the other party, we have Heinrich.
I like being human because, man, my first initiative roll was awful. 21.
Humans can
All
reroll.
right.
Yeah, humans have a thing where they're quick to battle. They can roll twice and choose either result.
Cool, I'm going to do that because I got an 11. Alright, so now I got an 18. So I'm happy with that.
And human as well, but I got a 19, so that doesn't matter.
Kenthis has an 18, you said?
Yep.
Okay, so we have these, which are going to be ouch, and then we have this, which is going to be significantly less ouch, but still first. All right. Outside, a spider pops into existence right in front of the two of you, and it lunges forward and it attempts to bite each of you in turn. So, who's on the left and who's on the right? Between Ember and Vasile.
I'll go left.
Okay, I'll be on the right.
No,
All
you
right.
be on the left, too. That way I can only hit one
Wait,
of us.
flanking doesn't work like that. Vasile on the left and Ember on the right. So, to my left, I rolled a 25 against physical defense. So, Vasile, does that hit you?
No. Yes, it does.
All right, and on my right, I rolled a 10 against physical defense. Ember, does that hit
not
you?
hit. No, it does not.
And person whom I hit, you take 10 damage.
Ow.
And there's one spider, right?
That is all that you see is one spider. Pops in, bites each of you, and then it stays there. It just lunges in, and you'll have a chance to react to it in just a moment. Then, from behind Heinrich, make a last gasp save.
What is
So this
that?
is a difficult saving throw, so you need a 16 or better. If
Okay.
you fail, it counts against your 4 failures for the day against death.
Okay. What do I roll
Geez.
for it? Just a D20 and that's it?
D20, no modifiers.
Okay. I got a 19.
Woo! All right. So you see this ghostly hand reach out from inside of your chest as if something tried to lean on you, and it just went right through you.
Wait, a hand?
A ghostly hand.
Okay, so not a spider foot, like human hand.
That's right, a human
Okay.
hand. Or humanoid hand.
Right.
So, that's done. That's done. Ember.
Okay, I am going to try and hit this spider in front of me. Let's see. Because with my flexibles, I can kind of decide what I do after I roll. And all of my moves are all flexible, so.
Yep, that's true.
Oh, that's not good. So it was a 2, so that's a 11 to hit. I'm guessing that's going to be a miss.
Yes, no matter which defense you choose, an 11 is not going to hack it.
Okay, then I am going to make that my attack a flexible melee attack, which is on a miss, one ally next to me gains a +2 AC bonus until the start of my next turn.
Okay,
or until no longer next turn. So I kind of I whiff at the spider, but then I kind of, I saw that the seal kind of got tagged a little bit, so I'm gonna make sure that he's a little bit more protected.
All right, which perfectly fits with your bodyguard aspect, so that's not a problem at all.
Thank you.
All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of clump together with the two groups now, but I'm going to keep track of your initiatives in case you guys meet up. So we're going to finish up with the spiders here, and we're going to go to Vasile. And Vasile, spider lunges in, misses your companion, sinks its fangs into you, and then Ember tries to rush to your rescue and misses, but he's providing some cover now. How are you going to retaliate here? How are you going to respond?
Well, I'm tempted to use Befuddle, but before I do, I need to know, it affects a creature with 64 hit points or fewer.
This is not 64 hit points.
Okay, so it's bigger.
Sorry,
All
it's
right.
more than 64 hit points.
Okay, so instead, I'm just going to attack it with my sword for now.
All right, I'm going to make a note, and when it reaches 64 or less, I will tell you.
Excellent.
All right, take your swing.
My swing is 21 versus AC.
All right, you hit. So you're using a short sword?
I'm using a long sword, actually.
Long sword. All right, so roll your damage.
Oh, wow. That was, yeah, I did 3 damage.
Oh,
Go
wait,
team.
well, wait a second. Remember, with the 14th age, you roll 1 weapon die per level.
And I did 3 damage. Oh wait.
Wait, how can you roll less than 4 if you have 4 dice per level?
Oh, that's right. I'm 4th level. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yes.
Oh.
I was going to say, how can you get...
Okay, 3, 6, 7, 8. And I believe I get to add dex to that. 8. Let me double check that.
Usually it's strength, but depending on what you've got, I think there's a feat that allows you to use certain weapons with a dex bonus instead.
My melee attacks can use dex. Hey, yay, bard. So, okay, 3, 6, 8 plus 4, 12 damage. All right, that's better.
That's much more like it. Still not 64. All right, so your longsword kind of takes a chip out of its chitinous hide. You definitely crack the shell there. So that is progress. And then we're going to go back inside. So Heinrich, you had a ghostly hand just kind of shoot through your chest, and for a moment you feel as though it was tugging on your soul, and your eyes kind of dim a little bit. And for a moment you felt another presence in your head. And then you made your saving throw. And now what do you do?
Well, I had my sword ready because I was angry. I turned around to try to see what it is that was reaching inside of me. What do I see?
All right. You see a young-looking elf who bears the marks of combat on his body. You see scorch marks, you see lacerations, and finally you see what looks to be a very nasty-looking sword wound that was probably the fatal blow dealt to him. And his wounds continue to bleed, but as the blood flows off of him and would fall onto the floor, it just kind of mists away. And there's this oddly translucent quality to him, particularly around the edges. You don't think that this guy is all here.
Well, I think I'm going to make him a little bit less here and try to hew my mighty greatsword into him as hard as I possibly can.
All right. Are there any special properties on your sword?
Yes. I have the Greatsword of Abandon from the book, and it's I get to add 2d6 extra damage on my first attack each battle.
All right. Okay.
So its quirk is that I blurt out obscenities, so I will save you all the obscenity blurting out, but Heinrich is cursing up a storm as he just tries to hack into this guy. And
the bard should have an attack called Blue Streak. I firmly believe that.
I got a 24.
All right. What is the natural result of the die?
Natural 15.
Okay. So your sword passes right through him, but it's not without some effect. So you should roll your damage.
Okay. Sorry, it's taking a second.
It's all right. You guys can take the average of dice, or you can roll one die and just multiply it out. Just try and be consistent with how you do your damage.
49.
49?
Yeah, because it's 40, 10 plus 5 for my greatsword, and then I had an extra 2d6.
Well, the
Wow.
All right. Well, first, as you probably suspected, the creature before you is The creature before you is ethereal. It appears to be a ghost. This guy is long dead before you got here. And so your sword just whishes through him with no resistance, but you see smudging on his form. As the sword cuts through him, it's like, even though you don't feel any resistance, it's like a sword passing through water, and you see the ripples on his form as it passes through. And so he does take some damage, even though it's not visible on him. And then, because you landed such a horrific blow, I will tell you right now that he is staggered. He has fewer than half his hit points, and he immediately blinks out of his existence in front of your eyes.
Nice.
All right.
And that was just that's my standard action, right?
Yes, you still have your move and your whatever they call the
Quick action.
quick action.
And for my quick action, I'm going to heal Kenthis since he was injured, and it looks like he's going to need all the hit points he can get.
Actually, how much healing does it do? Because I don't want you to, like...
You can heal using a recovery, and I can do that twice per battle.
Right, so when you spend a recovery, you're going to roll all of your hit die, so 4 times whatever your hit die is, and that's how many you get back.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Sure. So, I do that now?
Yep.
Thank you. Wow, okay, so I got 3 1s and a 3, so that's 6. So, 66 out of 72.
Well, you did only take 10 points of damage before, so that's still better than half of what you lost. Can't cry about that too much.
Oh, hold on, actually, 1 second. Sorry. My healing domain, I like heal using recovery. You also heal an additional 8 from, 2 plus my level HP, so an additional 8 on top of that, because I have the healing domain.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right,
I am now
boom,
full.
you're up full. And now it is your turn.
Alright, so the guy that he dissipated permanently, or he's still there?
Well, you don't know that yet.
Okay, so, but I can't hit him right now.
Yeah, he's not visible to you at the moment, so
Okay.
unless you've got a trick up your sleeve that you haven't told me yet.
If I were to combine Arcane Guide, background... Well, no, I'm not really supposed to use that for combat, am I?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're trying to perceive him in some manner, if you can describe what that is, or maybe you have an idea of how to catch him out from wherever he is.
I would like to try and reconnect with that world that I saw with the spiders and now apparently the dead elf. And,
All right.
And if I can see him, I would like to cast a spell on him if possible.
All right. Well, let's start with trying to perceive him. So roll
Okay.
your magical background again.
Hey, Steven, while he's rolling that, I forgot to mention, because I have the Sun domain, my attacks deal holy damage, if that matters.
Yes, it does matter. That applies to your melee attacks as well?
Yeah, according to the Sun domain, let's see, I have it written down. Each attack I make deals holy damage unless otherwise specified.
All right. So let me just check the definition of vulnerable here because I know it does something special. And it's different than 4th edition and from vulnerable. Increases the crit range of any attack by 2. So instead of critting on a 20, you crit on an 18 or better.
Okay. A natural 18 or better?
Natural 18 or better, yes.
Okay.
So you had a 15, so that didn't
Correct.
qualify this time. All right, so Kenthis, what was your roll?
Well, depends on what governing attribute you're going to use.
All right, well this time I think we're going to go with wisdom.
Okay.
Because you're really pushing your perception, you're opening your senses, you're being guided by intuition here in some degree.
So that's a 21.
All right. 21 is significant. And you do, for a moment, catch another glimpse, and you see the ghostly figure of that thing behind Heinrich. Or I should say on the other side of Heinrich, because I imagine he turned around to take a swing. But you also notice in his gear a resonance, and then the vision disappears.
So in what he was carrying with him, I'm noticing like an aura, kind of, if I understand correctly.
You're noticing something that seems to resonate with the vision that you temporarily had. It seemed to be similar to whatever it is that you did to take a peek into that ethereal realm.
Okay. Well, I mean, he is attacking us, so I guess I'm just gonna... Could I try to almost kind of blind fire a spell on the spot where I saw him?
Oh, absolutely. You
Okay.
can shoot at the spot where you saw him. That's not a problem.
Alright, so I will use my Echoing Thunder spell, so I'll roll my attack, which is Charisma plus level plus versus his physical defense. Okay.
Yeah.
That is 27.
Okay. So you lean around the corner and you let loose this blast of thunder right over Heinrich's shoulder, and narrowly avoid blasting out his eardrum as your hand just shoots past his head.
Okay.
And your spell would have been dead on target. I mean, there's no question that you would have hit this guy if he was actually there for the moment.
Okay.
And your spell just kind of goes down and splinters some of the wood off the wall on the far end.
Alright. And there's an after effect, just so you're aware. Oh, if I miss, it does damage equal to my level, but maybe that doesn't apply since he's not really there.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this case, I would say so.
And so if he hits me, the next enemy that hits me with a melee attack will take thunder damage. So,
all right.
so you're aware.
Okay. So now we're going to enter the second round of combat, and as such, we're going to begin with the escalation die.
Whoa.
Appropriately huge, I hope. So, what this means at this point is that the escalation die is set at 1. It will advance once every encounter as the combat intensifies, and you all get to add that die's value to your damage when you hit. If for whatever reason I feel that combat has stalled or slowed, or maybe there's an effect that does this, then the die can actually get rolled backwards, and it maxes out at 6. So right now the die is at 1. You can add 1 to all your damage rolls, and we're going to start with the spiders because they rolled a higher initiative than anybody or anything else. And the spider that was in front of Ember and Vasile disappears. And another one pops in
Great.
behind them and takes a shot. Now right is left and left is right. So that's going to be a 24 against physical defense against Ember.
That is physical defense that hits.
All right. And then a 21 against physical defense for Vasile.
Yeah.
All right. So it's another 10 points each. But, Ember, when you get hit, you feel as though something else is going on besides mere damage.
Ugh.
29 against your mental defense.
That hits.
All right. What do you have for magic on your person?
Magic items.
Yes.
I have the bulwark, my bulwark shield, and my bone crusher warhammer, and that's about it.
Okay. So, yeah, because we're all starting with 2 at the moment. So when you get hit by this bite, you feel as though the weapon itself seems to become intangible for a moment. Oh, actually, it's 1 at random. So, is your weapon even or odd?
Odd.
All right. Your shield feels as though it becomes intangible for a moment and slides right off your arm and off your hand. And the spider's foreleg darts out and it grabs hold of your shield and it kind of scuttles back with the shield as it retreats away from you. And you also notice that this spider does not bear any of the wounds that you inflicted on it.
Now, is he disengaging from me?
Yes, he is.
Don't I get a standard melee attack on him?
He gets a saving throw to disengage. I'm sorry. Hold on. And he fails. So
Okay.
you get your attack.
Do we both get to beat on him since he was kind of engaged with both of us?
Yes, you do.
Yay!
The one here. There's a middle one there.
Okay. So it's just a standard melee attack. So that would be a 21 versus AC.
Okay, that would be hit.
Okay, and that is 15, 23, 32 damage.
All right.
I do not like things messing with my stuff.
Ember
I'm going to lunge after it with my warhammer and say, hey, you're not going anywhere, and just crack him on the head, trying to open him up like a blue crab.
All right. So Ember lands a very, very solid hit that just bashes in a whole section of it. I mean, this thing looks like it's about to fall wide open for some serious damage here. And it has 68 hit points remaining. It is 4 points shy of being befuddled by Vasile, who also gets his free shot.
Yeah, I rolled a natural 18 to hit, so 26 versus AC. Did 21 damage to it.
All right. So it is now officially staggered at 47.
And then I had a question.
Sure.
So Ember is only taking 10 right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want a healing recovery, or do you want to wait?
No, I'm fine. I still have 64 hit points.
Okay. I don't. I wish I could use it on myself, but I can't. All right, I'm done.
All right.
62.
So, now you guys get your regular actions, because those were your free shots as it failed to disengage.
Okay. Which one of us goes first?
Ember does, unless you guys feel that you want to handle it differently.
I'm gonna swing at this guy again. Actually, let's see what I do. Okay. 16 plus 9. Yeah, so let's see, is that an even? Wait, which one is it? Any natural even hit. Okay.
All right. Its
So
armor class is 20.
Yeah, so I hit, and it was a 16 natural, so I'm going to use my deadly assault, which means I re-roll any ones from my damage roll. Let's see what I get first. Oh, and because he is staggered, I'm going to use the Bone Crusher ability, which allows me to roll 2 extra d8s. So
All right.
I get to reroll that one. So that's 10, 22, 33, and 9 is 42 damage.
42 damage.
Yeah.
Crap. This thing is on its last leg, and it started with 8 of them.
Do not mess with my shield. I went into a hellhole for that thing. Nobody's going to take it away from me.
All right. So, Vasile, 5 hit points. You want to finish this thing off or what?
Yeah, and I'll use my worst ability to do it. I'm gonna use Battle Chant on it. It should be entertaining.
All right. So, striking up a chord here.
Oh, poo. Okay, so 6 plus 9, 15. 15 versus mental defense.
That just hits. You nailed it.
Right.
Good job.
Six and 4 is 10. 11 damage.
All right. So, 11 damage is going to finish this thing off. You stab it in the eye. Oh, no, this is a magical attack, isn't it?
Yeah, I whip out my violin and play its death dirge, and its brain blows up or something.
Okay, so you strike a chord on this violin playing its death dirge where all of a sudden its eyes quiver in resonance and then split open. And there's just goo running down its face from all of these burst eyeballs. And it shudders and it falls down, and it only partially covers the shield. You can walk up and pull it out once combat's done, no problem. Okay, so that brings us inside, and when we go inside, another spider makes its appearance, but because of the narrow hallway, there really isn't that many places that it can come from, and so it appears right in front of Heinrich, and you're the only person that it can reach. It does still get 2 attacks, though. The lower of which was 22 against your physical defense.
Yes, that'll hit.
Alright, so you get hit twice for a total of 20 points.
Okay.
And then they're both even, so it gets to use its Rummage and Filch. As the unique properties of it, the lower of which is 26 against your mental defense.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Alright. And you only had 2 magical items to begin with, if I recall.
Correct.
They both go ethereal for a moment and just slide right off your person.
Goddamn.
But it only gets to snatch one of them.
Okay.
So, what are your 2 items? What type of items are there?
I have my greatsword, and then I've got my holy symbol.
Alright. So, is your holy symbol even or odd?
I'm going to say that it's going to be even.
Even it is. I rolled a 4.
Okay.
So, it latches onto your holy symbol, and then it makes a disengage check to back away, and it succeeds, and takes off for the end of the hallway.
With his holy
And
symbol?
it is your turn.
Well, that's not cool. Is there charging? Can I do that? Does charging do anything
you
for
can
me?
run an attack, but there's no tactic of charge where you get a bonus or anything.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to very one-track minded and a zealotous rage charge after him and get my holy symbol back and stab into him with my giant blade.
Did you also want to get your weapon back too?
Oh, well, yeah. No! One-track mind. Yes, I will pick my weapon up real quick before I do that. And then I will run after the spider. And is there any sign of the ethereal elf or the phasing elf?
No.
Okay.
Ooh. Hold on a second. You had 3 magical items on your person.
Oh, the
Ooh.
the opal. Okay.
All right. So give me a second here.
A little bit of
So your weapon
retcon.
is 1 and 2. Your symbol is 3 and 4, and the opal is 5 and 6. Your weapon is still in hand. The holy symbol and the opal are what falls out,
Okay.
and it grabs the opal.
God damn it. Only
The elf
heretics
does.
want that opal.
It grabs the opal and runs down.
That's the elf that grabbed the opal?
No. That's the phase spider.
Okay. So
Because when he attacked, all the magical items, up to 2 of them, because he got hit twice, kind of phased off of his body and fell down physically to the floor. And then it grabbed one of them, and just randomly it grabbed the opal. And then it makes its saving throw and hightails it down the hallway. And now Heinrich here, without his holy symbol, but with his big-ass sword,
well, I will scoop down with one hand, grab my holy symbol, and with my other hand, charge down the hallway to cleave into this giant jerk spider.
All right, make your attack roll.
All right. And it's a +1 to attack from the escalation die, is that right?
Yes, you guys had
Okay.
it right. I had it wrong. It's bonuses to attack, not damage.
It is a natural 18, so a 28.
All right. These are not vulnerable.
Okay.
So, but 28 is more than enough to hit it because its armor class is 20.
Okay, and I'm actually going to use my strength domain for a free action once per battle. I can deal 4d4 extra damage to a target that I hit in melee.
All right. So, excellent.
All right, so I will roll that up real quick. So 46 points of damage.
Whew. Oh, 46. I thought you said 46, and it's like, roll your damage, for God's sake.
You do it, man. Come on, you're the GM.
He's down to 54 hit points.
Okay.
You take a significant whack right out of his butt. And he is definitely aware that you are there. But it is now the ghost's turn.
I think I'm going to real quick use my last healing on myself.
Okay.
Just since I did take a significant whack, and I'm scared of that ghost ripping out my heart.
All right.
So-
The ghost does not rip out your heart. It appears face to face with Kenthis.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm still going to heal myself, though. Sorry, Kenthis.
Kenthis, it jams his hands right in your chest, and you could feel, you could see him mouthing a word, and it looks for all the world like he's shouting Kalima. Thank you. So, make that last gasp saving throw that I was discussing before.
Okay.
You need a 16 or better, no modifiers.
No modifier. Okay. 7.
Okay. So, the ghost has the trait Malevolent Possession. So, first off, you are... Alright, you make a mark on your character sheet or your scratch paper or wherever. You have failed one last gasp save. And if ever you lose 4 of them before your next heal up, I think, something bad can happen.
Okay.
But for now, you are possessed.
Cool.
and you're going to get to make a saving throw at the end of each of your turns to try and avoid that possession. But now that you're possessed, it's going to use your turn to cast a spell at Heinrich.
So do you want me to list off the spells I had ready?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, I had Scorching Ray, Lightning Fork, and Echoing Thunder, and none of them are currently out of charges, if I know the rules right. I'm not sure I do.
All right. No, you do. So, Scorching Ray sounds like a winner?
Sure.
I'm glad I yelled.
Do you want
I'm
me
really
to be
glad I healed
honest
myself.
about which one does the most damage? Because you picked the weakest one.
No, I'm good with my choice.
Okay.
Hey man, same team.
He's in my head. I can't control myself.
All right. Kenthis shouts, "It's mine!" And this Scorching Ray flings from his hand, and you roll for it.
Do you want to know what you have to roll? Or who's rolling for this?
Oh, no, you're going to roll. You're going to
Okay.
roll. I think you have a feat for this one, too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
See, he's
Well,
smart because this way I blame you if you hit me, not Steven.
Well, actually, my feat's kind of going to help you a little bit. I can use it against a faraway target, so I guess that would be you. Is he considered far away for me?
Actually, he would be close, because you could take a single move and catch up with him.
Okay. Well, never mind then. So the feat doesn't affect it. And 18 plus charisma, so that's plus 7 total, so that is a 25
Against?
against physical defense.
Yes.
All right. And what type of dice would you roll?
For damage,
Yeah.
1d6 plus my charisma in fire damage, and since the attack roll, the natural roll was even, he's going to take 1d8 ongoing fire damage.
All right, that sounds fair. That's not out of line with what a monster would do, so might be a little low even. Roll your damage.
Okay. This is just plus charisma. Like when it says plus charisma, I don't add my level all the time.
That's right. I think it's just your charisma modifier.
Well, I got a 6, so that's 9 damage. Sorry.
Okay. And then at the beginning of each of his turns, we'll roll the damage then for the being on fire, and I assume that's a save ends effect.
It actually doesn't say, but you're probably right.
We'll treat it that way.
Yeah.
All right. So now that you have roasted him, you rush up behind him, but there's nothing. Oh, yeah. And you attempt to snatch up the opal. So make a saving throw.
7.
Okay. You don't get the opal. Make a saving throw to stop the possession.
Alright.
You need 16 or better.
And then no modifiers.
No modifiers.
Alright, I'm gonna try to slap myself. Got a 10, so.
All right.
Doesn't the face
So-
spider currently have the opal?
It does, but he's trying to kind of reach around Heinrich and take it out from the face spider. All right. So, Kenthis, mark off another failed saving throw for now. I have
Okay.
something in mind for this. It's not going to be actual death or anything like that, but we'll see how far it gets.
Okay.
All right. So we're back up to the next round of initiative. We're round 3, so we are +2 to all of your attacks for the escalation die. And then the spiders get to go. And the spider that is... Ooh, okay. So another spider teleports in where... downstairs where Ember and Vasile are, and it positions itself predictably behind them.
Damn. Blink monsters.
15 against Ember, your physical defense.
That is a miss.
All right, and against Vasile, it's going to be a 17 against physical defense.
Hit.
Oh, crap, man. All right, 10 points, and let's see. Oh no, it was. You're not staggered, are you?
Now I am.
Okay, so he does get that. 19 against mental defense.
Hits.
All right, you have 2 magical items. What are they?
My violin and my mantle.
Your violin is even or odd?
Even.
All right, your mantle slides off.
No.
It makes its disengage roll and starts to run away with your mantle.
All right.
All right. So, that brings us up to Ember.
Okay, I'm gonna chase after that spider and try and bash him with my hammer again.
All right.
So let's see, we got a natural 16. Since it worked so well last time, I'm gonna do another deadly assault. So I'm gonna do a full swing up and just try and crush him. So that means that I re-roll the ones, but I don't get the extra 2d8.
All right.
So it is only 26 damage.
Only, he says. All right. So you take a big chunk out of this one, a quarter of its hit points. Anything else that you'd like to add to that? I think you've got a quick action left.
I don't think I have anything I can do in that quick action, so...
Then it's off to Vasile.
All right. I am
It's the
thoroughly
stuff.
mad now. So I bite down on my lip, and blood starts trickling down because of the
Ooh.
violin. And I'm going to cast a daily, and I'm going to cast lightning bolt at this thing.
Oh,
Please don't roll a 1.
down in front.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, there's nothing here that says I can possibly hit you. That would be sound burst, which I chose not to cast. So let's see how this goes.
This reminds me of a wizard I played once.
Natural 19, so that'd be a 30 against physical defense.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, here, and I'm going to use the inimical quality on my violin to do an extra D10 to both it and me. So 1 second. Oh. I do 38 to it and 10 to myself.
Ouch. All right. So that puts it down to 36 hit points. It is now staggered.
Yay.
All right. Now we're back inside. Kenthis shouts commands at the spider in the elven tongue, which I don't think that Heinrich understands.
Am I aware of what I'm doing at all?
Yes, you're totally aware of everything that you're doing. In fact, you are aware of the person who is possessing you. And his name is Neve, and he was the apprentice of Revan, and he wants, above all else, to obtain the opal, which he believes to be an artifact of great power.
I told you,
And-
people.
And
I wanted you
he
to
also
carry it.
believes that it's responsible for his condition. He doesn't actually know that he's dead. Alright, so he's just kind of running with it. So he shouts a command to the spider, and the spider blinks out, and it does a short teleport to behind Heinrich to where it hands you the opal. And it's Heinrich's turn.
So my body now has the opal.
Your body now has the opal.
Okay.
So I can't. Can I see the elf, or is the elf inside the dead elf inside of Kenthis right now?
I think I'm gonna deal with the elf.
The dead elf is inside of him. It's possessed it moved into and possessed his body.
Okay. Well, I've got a crazy idea.
Oh, right.
Stab the elf out of him?
I grab my holy symbol that I pick up and raise it high into the air and begin to chant, and I cast Turn Undead.
All right.
And I want to turn this jerk elf and out of my buddy's body.
I was afraid you were gonna blast me or something. I like this
No,
plan a lot
man, we're
better.
all right. I mean, you did light me on fire, so I guess we do need to roll for that. But how much fire damage am I taking?
Fire damage.
Oh, the ongoing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, D8.
Feel free to roll it, so I can be mad at you as I turn
Okay.
undead. I'll use that to fuel my righteous anger.
Sorry, 1 second. Okay. 8. And I don't think that gets
thanks,
any
man.
mods. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, John's debut in the game tonight.
Got some high rolls, but it's not exactly the way I want them to work out.
I really appreciate you lighting me on fire and stuff like that. It's fantastic.
You're
Hold on
welcome.
1 second. I want to make sure I'm doing this correctly.
No special rules for taking damage in 13th Age. Works just like every other game.
Oh, I mean for casting. Turn Undead.
Yeah, they kind of went turn undead as the spell route here.
Okay.
But I think you might get a bonus for the Sun Domain.
No, I didn't take any of the feats for
Okay.
bonuses for that.
All right.
Hold on. Yeah. You know what? Screw it. Okay, as a quick action before I do that, I'm going to chant my Invocation of the Sun. So when I cast a daily cleric spell this battle, I roll a d6. If I roll a greater than or, I'm sorry, less than or equal to the escalation die on the d6, I regain the use of that daily power after the battle. So
All right. So you need a 1 or a 2.
I rolled a 1.
Excellent.
Nice.
So I will regain Turn Undead after I use it after this battle. So I'll roll for Turn Undead now. So it's 8 versus mental defense plus 2 from escalation die. So I got a natural 19. So and it's holy if that matters. So
Yeah, it does.
okay,
As you said, a natural 19.
a natural 19.
Right. So you're dealing double damage because of the expanded crit range. It's vulnerable.
Okay. So natural 19.
So roll your damage and just times 2.
So I got 29. I actually need to know how much I hit by.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Is it attacking mental defense?
Yes.
Okay, his mental defense is a 20.
Okay. Here's where I'm confused because it's telling me if I hit by a 12 plus or a natural 20 in this case, it does something. But since my crit range against him is expanded because it's holy damage that I'm dealing.
All right. Here we go. I was going to ask a page number, but I think I'm there. All right. So it definitely has fewer than 55 hit points because I think it was down to like 1.
Yeah, I'm casting this as a 3rd level spell, so it's less than or equal to 90 for me.
Oh yeah, you would have gotten them at full. So you roll. What's your total?
I got a 29.
All right, so you beat it by 9, so you get the 8 plus.
Okay, so he will take half of his max HP and holy damage.
Okay. Um, you lash out with your spell, and how does the wave of holy energy manifest itself here?
Like a blazing sun, like fire emanating from my holy symbol, since I am an inquisitor of the Temple of the Blazing Sun. Like,
All right, John, this is the fire trap all over again, except the light streams into your eyes and sears your soul. But it's not your soul that's actually feeling the pain. It drives Nave back out of your body like a watercolor running when you spill water on it. And his form just dissipates into nothingness behind you, leaving you holding the opal.
Nice.
I tell Nave, you think you know fire? I was born in the fire, raised in it.
A whole new image for the cleric, and perhaps a suitable one.
I am Bane. There you go.
All right. Okay.
So, does this drive him out completely? Does this destroy this weird
he only had 1 hit point.
Okay. So I went a little overboard, is what you're telling me.
Well, it's not as if you could pass your broadsword through him again. Not without losing a sorcerer. So you definitely cleaned his clock for the time being. But you still have behind you. Oh, sorry. You still have in front of you, between the two of you, a spider. One with a big chunk missing out of its ass. So we are up to Kenthis, and what are you going to do about that spider?
All right.
Now that you've come back to your senses.
So first I'm going to thank the cleric and, praise the sun and all that. And then we will... Alright. So yeah, I guess I'll go with... Now, this is an extreme long shot, but I have to ask. I don't expect it to work. If I were to use a chain spell, how would you feel about it going... Is there a window behind this spider that we're facing?
No, behind the spider is the cleric, and behind the cleric is the end of the hallway. So there's like a staircase there.
Okay. And I actually can't remember. Did I use lightning fork before?
No, you did not.
Okay. And this is one thing I was unsure of in the rules. It says recharge 16 plus after battle. Is that minutes, hours? How does that work?
So after battle, which would be in 4th edition, that would be after an encounter. Once you had a moment or two to rest, you get to make a saving throw. It's an unmodified roll of 16 or better in order to recharge that spell so that you'll have it available at the next battle.
Okay, that's cool.
So if you fail, it's gone until your next heal up. But if you make it, you've got it to use again.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to go for Echoing Thunder again, because that's an at-will. So,
Alright.
I'll roll attack. Natural 20.
Alright, so you're going to deal double damage.
Right, plus my charisma, plus my level. That's 27 attack versus his physical defense.
Oh yes, that's a hit.
Okay. So I would roll 3d6 normally, but you said double damage, so...
Right. Well, just roll your 3d6 and then just times 2.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to get a third die out here. Okay, 13 plus my charisma, so 16.
Alright, so 16 times 2 is 32, and it is almost down.
Okay.
It's got 22 hit points left.
And No, I'm just checking if the residual thing where if they hit me it stacks. That would not count, right?
Um, the residual thing? What are you looking at?
With Echoing Thunder, the next enemy that hits me with a melee attack before the start of my... Oh, no, okay, so it's worn off. Never mind.
All right.
If he hits me, he'll take damage.
Excellent. I'll leave it to you to tell me when that happens.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Heinrich, make a saving throw, 10 or better, to see if you're still on fire.
Do I add anything, or is it just straight D20?
Straight D20.
Okay.
I got a 3, so I am not better.
Okay.
Do I have no control over that? Or is it just, it's out of my hands at this point?
Well, the initial attack was the magical fire. Now it's just mundane fire.
Right.
But I'll tell you that if you spend a round trying to put him out, his saving throw drops to a 6 or better.
Okay.
All right. And it wasn't 10 or better, it was 11 or better. They do things a little bit different in the 4th edition here. The saving throws are 6, 11, and 16 or better, depending whether it's easy, average, or hard. All right, so we're going into round 4. We are let me just change focus on the camera here. We are escalation die 3, so we're adding 3 to all of our attack rolls now. Except for the villains. And then we're going to go up, and there's just 2 spiders left, and they're both downstairs. When we left off, there was one running away with the mantle, but he got whacked a couple of times. He's got 36 hit points left, but because he didn't just phase in this turn, he gets to do one of these abilities, which is number 3. Alright. He teleports a long distance. So the spider teleports from right in front of Ember off to a tree in the distance, but it leaves the mantle behind.
Oh.
Because it was in combat and in a hurry. So, but then, Ember, are you even or odd?
Odd.
Okay. Behind Vasile, the first spider teleports back in.
Did they kill the spider? They didn't kill the spider inside, right? That
No.
guy's still alive.
That guy's still alive as 2.
Okay. Just want to make sure that I didn't miss something.
Alright. Well, you might be missing something in just a moment because I just saw in chat that our bard has 8 hit points left. And sure enough, one of those 2 did hit. So he takes 10 and he crumples. And this spider grabs his violin, no problem, and starts walking away. So,
Can't do anything about that. Damn it.
death and dying rules. Hold on a second here. I did have myself a little... Okay, first I want to remind you guys that just like in 4th edition D&D, you have a second wind. They call it a rally. So as a standard action, you get to rally, you get to roll your hit dice, and whatever you make, you get back. Unlike 4th edition, you get to do this multiple times. The first time is free, but every time after that, you have to make a saving throw, 11 or better, in order to be able to rally. If you fail, you don't lose your action. You can continue to use that action for something else. You just can't rally that turn. So there's really no limit aside from the number of... they don't call them healing surges, they call them something else. Recoveries. Really, the only limit to how often you can heal is the number of recoveries you have. You don't have to wait for a bard or a cleric to trigger these. You always have a shot, a 50-50 shot that you can rally for a second or third or fourth time. After that, let us see how death and dying work. I wasn't looking forward to doing this quite so soon. My apologies to our bard. So essentially this comes down to doing a death save at the end of every turn. But, excuse me. I know it's a 16. I know it's a hard save for 16 or better. I know you don't get any bonuses. And there we go, 169. I made the mistake of starting to read Dungeon World again, so everything's kind of mixed up in my head for this. Alright. So you're dead at -half, which is like 4th edition. You can use your recoveries while you're dying. Or so it would seem. Oh, it says if you're able to use one of your recoveries, or otherwise get healed. So yes, you can use your recoveries when you're down. And you roll at the start of your turn for the saving throw. Which would be after Ember.
Alright, and I'm gonna, no! And swing at this thing with my hammer of cracking. Ooh, that's a 17. So that's a hit. Let's see. Odd. So I'm going to do Carve an Opening, which my crit range increased by 1, cumulative by 1 every time I use it. So it's 1920 next time. But this wrist right now, I'm just doing my damage, which is.
It doesn't increase your crit range on this attack?
No. Well, it says your crit range with melee attacks expands a cumulative +1 in this battle until you score a melee critical hit. So
I would say that gives you benefit to this attack and then each attack after that. So you keep increasing until you hit something and then the counter restarts.
Right. Okay. So it's still not a crit this time, but let's see, 8, 10, 16. 25.
25?
Yeah.
That's a hit.
Oh, no, that was 25 damage.
Oh, 25 damage.
It was a 29 2 hit. 25 damage.
Alright, so we're back to the first one. This is the one that I think Vasile hit in the first round? Or was that you?
I think it was Vasile. I think.
Alright,
yeah,
so
I whiffed on it.
Right, so now it's down to 63 hit points. So if he were to bounce back, it would be vulnerable to his befuddlement. Alright, you have quick action remaining.
Stabilizing is a standard action.
Alright.
It
is.
Yeah. So I don't have enough time to stabilize him.
Vasile, make your saving throw.
Oh, hey, I rolled a natural 17. How about that?
Well, there you go. You get to use a recovery to return to consciousness. So, like 4th edition, your hit points go to 0, and then you add your hit dice on top of that.
And I get 21 back. Yay!
Pretty good.
All right.
I know they couldn't keep you down long.
So, you were on death's door for a moment there, and as the light fades to black, you feel your most prized possession being taken from you as the spider turns to walk away. And Ember just runs past with all the heavy armor and the boots thudding like this freight train. Not that your character would have a frame of reference for that. Just roaring past you and throwing itself into melee with the spider. And as the sounds of this epic battle take on this mythic proportion as your senses fade, what brings you back? what inspires you to reach out of that long dark trip into the abyss?
Well, I think I'm just too angry to die right now. That's where I was before. I think I'll keep going at that.
All right. It's like, nobody puts their hands on my violin, and just jumps up and. Or my wife says, nobody puts baby in the corner. All right. You need a 20 to get your actions back. So at this point, you are simply conscious and got your hit points back. So mark off for recovery, and we will go into round 4. That's +4 to everybody's attacks. But at this point, honestly, it's just that last spider downstairs, and I'm going to say that Ember finishes it off without much, without any trouble.
What happened to our spider? Did ours die?
No, but it was under 22. And being that we're hitting up against 10 o'clock, there's really nothing more that's particularly interesting about this fight.
Right.
You guys have seen everything that there is to see. The main bad guy has been defeated, at least so far as you can tell. And the spiders aren't going to inflict any more significant damage upon you at this time. So they're going to die, except for the one that escaped, but empty-handed. You still have all of your magical equipment. Although it's a little bit more dinged up than it might normally have been. And you have the opal.
I guess now that all the excitement's over, I'll clip the web, which was my original intention.
Well, what I was going to do is if I succeeded in possessing Heinrich, he was going to push you into the web. And then try to escape with the opal. So that I was really looking forward to that, and it didn't work.
I'm sorry I rolled so well on my last gasp.
No, that's fine. Absolutely fine. So,
I'll put the fire out on the
yeah, you put the fire out with any trouble here. Now we're going to have what's going to be like a quick rest. So this would be the standard end of battle for 4th edition, where if you have anything that recharges at the end of the battle, you would roll it now. If you wanted to spend recoveries to get hit points back, you would do it now. One thing that is different, if you are staggered, you must spend as many recoveries as it takes to get you above, so you're no longer staggered. I'll leave it to you guys to do the rolling and to keep track of that normally. And we'll figure out at the beginning of next session what you're going to be doing from there.
Okay.
So I can't add the web to my inventory, right?
Well, you can cut it. You can cut it out of the doorway and you can bundle it up, but it is sticky and it sticks to each other. So you end up with this gummy ball that kind of looks like a rubber band ball, except it's a little bit more ropey and sticky.
Okay, I like that. I'll just. Can I wrap it in some cloth?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So so it doesn't stick to everything else in my pack. So I'll put web wrapped in cloth.
All right.
So you now have a ball of duct tape.
Yep, that's the plan.
Awesome. Anybody else have any thoughts as we wrap up here for the session?
Good session.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Excellent session. We kicked butt.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Not bad for first combat. You survived being split.
Yeah. What do we do our first combat? We split the party.
That's fine. I was actually looking for an opportunity for this attack to happen, and you guys handed it to me. So I have no complaints. If you guys have any questions about the session, just let me know in the community, and we'll sort it out there. And I'll also put in the We'll also figure out when the next one is, probably in 2 weeks. So thank you everybody for showing up. I hope you guys had a good time, and I hope if anybody watched we had a good time. I didn't see the ticker there, but you never know. And have a good night.
You too.
A lot.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Bye.